Hey there, YouTubers. Thanks for tuning back in. This is Dan Strong with Excel VBA is Fun. Today is round 2, ding ding ding, of our count series. So in the first video we just showed, we did count and count A. Count, of course, shows only numeric numbers. There's 0 numbers in this list. There are 50 entries that are not blank in this list. Now we're going to do something a little more fun, a little more interesting. Then we're going to use the user form to change the features. And we'll do something with a spin button. So if you click up or if you click down, it's going to change the count, because we might count the number of these suckers that are greater than whatever number we have. So we get to 86. You'll have a few that are over that, and you keep going up and up and up, and there will be less. So we'll do something like that. Or maybe we'll do something with the protein grams. That'll be fun. Okay. Alright, so let's begin. How do you do that in a normal worksheet scenario? Here's how you do a CountIF. So what are we going to count? Let's go ahead and put our formula right here. Equals CountIF tab. And so here's the range that we're going to use. We're going to use the range of, we're going to go ahead, what has the most variety of numbers? Probably the ascorbic acid looks pretty good. No, we'll use energy and kcal. So Control-Shift down, down, down. Here we are. Here's the end of our list. And we'll do F4 to make those all permanent, and we'll hit tab. What's the criteria? Well, that's what a CountIF is all about. We're going to count these numbers if they meet a certain criteria. So to do that, let's say, let's put in quotation marks, let's do something that is greater than 30. We want to know the number that is greater than 30. And close up your parentheses. So there are 17 of these numbers here that are greater than 30. And let's change this 19 to the number 31. And that number should change to 18 if I hit enter. Okay, so yeah, it works. So we're counting if it's greater than 30. What if we did greater than or equal to 30? Does that change anything? Okay, so that means that one of these numbers is 30. Okay, yeah, collards. Collards is 30. So yeah, so you can change that. You can also use CountIF for text. So, for example, let's do another one. Let's do a CountIF. Okay, I guess this video is on CountIF, sorry. Because we need, they're numerical. So as in greater than, equal to, etc. And then there is string or text. And that is as in how many, say, carrots. Exactly the word carrots. How many of these are carrots? So let's test that out. Equals CountIF, and let's choose this range. Control-Shift down, hit comma, and the criteria is going to be the text carrots. Now, I don't think that is case sensitive on the worksheet function, but when you do it in VBA, it will be case sensitive for some reason. So hit enter. How many of these are the word carrot? Why, only one, that one right there. But what if I put this one and change this one to carrots? And then I change this one to carrots. Well, now there's 3 that are counted as being carrot. So that's pretty interesting. So let's Control Z, Control Z. We want to keep those to not say the word carrot, but let's do that in VBA. Let's make a user form. This is going to be pretty fun. So we'll create a new user form, and let's go ahead and add our label. Real basic. I'm just going to say number. Whoops. I double clicked on the wrong part. I wanted to double click on this lower right hand corner to resize this. So we have our number. Then I want to do a text box. And in this text box, I'm going to be able to type in a number, and I'm also going to have a spin button. Right there, spin button, okay? We're going to mess with that in just a moment, and we want a label that will read off of this. So here's our label, and let's start naming a few things that are pivotal. Here's the text box, so TB for text box. TB num, that's our number. Here's our spin button, that's also regarding the number, so SB for spin button, num. And then here's our label, LBL. We're going to name it LBL CountIF. That's something like that. Okay. So as this text box changes, or as the spin box forces the number in the text box to change up or down, we want this label to automatically get us the count. And we're going to do the same scenario if this range here is greater than or equal to 30. Now I'm going to cheat a little bit. I want to name this range because I don't want to type in, B2 through B51. So I'm going to call it energy list. Okay, that's our oops, that's not our energy list. That's our water list. Alt-IND, that's our names manager. Let's go to our energy list and change it manually to C instead of B. Hit the check mark. Good to go. So if I click on energy list, now it's got that C range. Okay, that's all I needed for that. Let's resize this for a second. Alright, now the TB num, that's our text box, right? We need to create a change event. Okay. Whenever this is changed, we need to update the label. So me.lbl CountIF equals. And okay, my good friend KRN told me that I need to tell everybody that we need to be able to abbreviate these. So we're going to declare, I don't know what I'm going to call this, but we need to declare and set the application.worksheet function so we don't have to retype it 1,000 million times. So let's just call it AW as an application worksheet function. Declare that as, wow, I don't even know what to dim that as. Wow, sorry Kevin, I let you down, buddy. But I can try set AW equals application.worksheet function. Yeah, I'm not really sure how to declare that sucker. Sorry, maybe as an object, I don't know. So we're going to set me.lbl CountIF equals, so instead of retyping application.worksheet function, we can simply type AW dot the worksheet function is going to be CountIFs. Ugh. Alright, Kevin, I don't like this. Sorry, I'm out of practice. So we're gonna go ahead and type it out. As for the declaring that part, yeah, I don't really. You have to show me how to do that part. So this is going to be me.lbl CountIF equals the worksheet function. In fact, so you don't have to type application dot. I do because I don't have to spell out the word worksheet function. I can type WOR, I think. So application.worksheet function dot, and the worksheet function we're going to use is called CountIF, which is right there. I hit open parentheses. So just as we saw on the worksheet, you need a range, and then you need your argument 2 is your criteria, which could be the word carrots, or it could be greater than or equal to 30. So let's go ahead and get started. The range is going to be this workbook. Maybe he was talking about this. I could declare this sheet and summarize this quite a bit. I'm going to scooch this over here. So the sheet we're working on is called Count, and the range is a named range. It is called energy list. That does not have to be a capital L there. I just did it for fun. So we're counting this range, and now we've got the range, so we can hit a comma, and now we can do argument 2, which is the criteria. So our criteria in the first example was greater than or equal to 30 is what we wanted the count of. We wanted to count if it's greater than or equal to 30 in that range. So let's go ahead and try to put that in there. So I'm going to put greater than or equal to, and I'm going to combine that with whatever is in the text box. So I combine that by ending the quote as if this was a phrase, and then using the ampersand to join that to me.tbnum. That's the number within our text box. And I'm going to close the parentheses, and we're going to see if there's any errors with this yet. So, and let's do on error, resume next, just so we can get the ball rolling here. So let's open our user form. I'm going to type the number 1. Okay, how interesting. Now I'm going to type the number 2, so it'll be the number 12. There are 48 that are above 12. There are 0 that are above 123. If I blank it out, shouldn't have any errors. Let's type the number 30. Okay, you may notice on our worksheet here that 18 was their conclusion as well. So, there are 18 that are greater than or equal to 30. What about 29? There are 19. Now, I don't like erasing that and retyping it, do you? No, of course you don't. So what you want to do is we want to put something on these spin buttons. Let's do that, shall we? Okay. So, if you click the up or the down button, you want it to go up 1 or down 1 respectively. So one whole number. So let's do that. Double click on the spin button. We do not want a change event. What we want is a spin down or a spin up, and you have to program them separately. And we'll remove the change event here. That's automatic. So spin up, okay? How about we'll do this on error, resume next again. Simply when you spin up, we want me.tb number to be equal to itself plus 1. So me.tbnum equals me.tbnum plus 1. Now, what if we're going to do the spin down event? So copy and paste. How about a minus sign right there? The number shall be itself minus 1. Now there's a way to limit that to where it doesn't go below 0, but I won't get into that right now. Let's go ahead and click the up button. Okay, so blank text plus 1 is nothing. So that's something you need to be aware of. You put 0 there, and you click the up button. Now it's got a number it can latch onto, and it can go up or down. So you can hold on to it. So our highest number is 105. And when we get to 0, it's actually going to keep going below 0 because it's found a number now. It can take away 1 from 0, so it's going to keep going. So every single number on there is greater than or equal to negative 14. You see that? So that's how we use the CountIF feature here. You know what? If you want to stop watching, you can, but I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do the other ones that I promised I would show you, both forms of CountIF. So we'll do the carrots one here. we'll have a word that we can put in this text box. Oops, that's a label. Silly me. Let's scooch that over here, and we'll use that as our label for this. We'll just say text, and we'll double click on the lower right hand corner, and that will auto size that. Now let's give a little bit more room, since we're not dealing with whole numbers. Give us some room like this so they can type in a whole word or phrase. And whenever they type this in, we'll have the count of that. So Control C, Control V. So we'll put a counter right here, and we'll call this LBL CountIF string. Okay, this is the string, this is the number CountIF. So we need to label this. So this is going to be called TB for text box. TB text. Alright. So whenever the TB text is changed or something is typed in there, we'll do on error, resume next. Now, the code for this is going to be pretty similar. We're going to say me.lbl CountIF string. So I just selected the correct one. I'm going to steal the equals and all this jive up here, since it is the correct range. Well, no, it's not the correct range, but it's the correct format anyway. So we have that string, the label is going to be equal to application.worksheetfunction.CountIF. Now oops, we don't have enough room. Let's scooch this a little bit. Okay, scoochy, scoochy, scooch. There we go. So the range is on the sheet called count. It is a range, and it is not called energy list. It is simply called my list. We named it in the very first video. So it's called my list. My list is this blue area with all these nice little words. So we want a count of whatever's equal to. In fact, whenever you're doing something equal to, you don't even have to say equal to. You can just have a comma and then put whatever it is that you're wanting to do a count of. So you have your range, comma, your criteria. In this case, the criteria is equal to, or is simply that text. And in fact, oops, it's not that. It's me.tb text, not tb number. So let's go ahead and try that out. So we have something here. So there's 0 entries. Now I want to show you something, a subtlety like I told you earlier about the word carrots, which I am completely wrong about. Okay, I must have been doing something else. I thought this was going to be case sensitive for the carrots, but I noticed now that it doesn't matter if that is a capital C or not. So yeah, you learn something new every day, right? So let's go ahead and make something that will open that. We have a module down here where we made a new procedure called count form for our last video. Let's make one called CountIF form. And that's simply, we're going to say user form 2, that's our new user form, dot show. Okay, now I'm going to use the CountIF form for another one of these. I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to paste it right here. Whoops. Undo. Paste. There we go. So I'm going to change the color of this sucker. I'm going to make this one red. Red is good. So scooch that over a little bit. Now this one's going to be the open CountIF user form. Okay, and when I right click on it, I'm going to assign the macro in this workbook called CountIF form, not count form 1. So CountIF form, and that opens up the user form we just messed with. Another thing I want to do, I want to make the starting number 0. That way, whenever you open it up by pressing this, you can immediately start clicking the up or down arrows. Alright. And another thing I want to do just to test it, I want to once again change this to carrots, change this to carrots. I want to get a count of those. So carrots. Okay, as soon as I hit that S, it immediately gives me that feedback and it says 3. Okay, and then as soon as I start clicking on that, if I type in the number 35, there's 15 that are greater than or equal to 35. When I type in 30, there's 18. So there's 3 that are in between that. So, alright guys, that's how to use CountIF in Excel VBA, and also how to make a nifty little user form to show that off. So I'm going to rename the caption on the upper hand of this to CountIF user form. That way it looks like this. CountIF user form. Thanks for watching, guys, and God bless. Oh, in the next video we will be delving into a little bit more fun. We're going to use the one called CountIFs with an S at the end. That's when you have multiple criteria. So that'll be pretty interesting. Thanks for watching. God bless. Oh, and you can download this workbook by clicking on my Dropbox link in the video description.